Every man knows what it feels like to speak and not be heard, to work hard and never be affirmed. Today we're talking about the desires that shape how we show up at work, in marriage, and with God. Hi, welcome to the I Know a Guy podcast ministry of bringingkingdom.org. I'm your host, Steve Cummings, and this week we're going to unpack the 7 desires every human carries, desires God built into himself. I read the book written by Mark Laaser and his wife, Debra Laaser, called 7 Desires, Looking Past What Separates Us to Learn What God Connects Us. And a lot of this is what I've gone through and what I experienced after I read their book. And then what I've been doing is I've been meeting with men. I've been getting deeper and deeper in realizing when these desires go unmet, we don't just get frustrated, we get wounded. And wounded men develop survival patterns. Maybe your survival pattern's working good for you, but if you're tired of pretending and you're worn out and you reached your mid-50s like I did, and you're like going, I need a new hard drive, welcome to the I Know a Guy podcast, because you do know a guy, it's me. Today we're uncovering the first 2 desires, the desire to be heard and the desire to be affirmed. These desires are woven into the fabrics of our soul, men, and when they're unmet, we respond in a bunch of ways. We get angry, we withdraw, we over-explain, we shut down, or we perform to be noticed. So let's talk about desire number 1, the desire to be heard. Every man wants his voice to matter. From childhood to adulthood, we're saying, Dad, look at me. Dad, look at me. We want our Father's blessing. There's been so many books written on that. There's something inside us that just asks, does anyone care what I think? Does anyone care what I feel? What I'm trying to say. When this desire is unmet, we respond in these kind of unhealthy ways. We can shut down. And when we shut down, we medicate. We're going to find something to ease the pain and we don't even know it. We get louder. It's obviously I'm not being heard. I just need to get louder. And what ends up happening is then we get angry or we stop sharing our hearts. And then we wonder why the relationships around us are fracturing left and right. Our wives are at odds with us, maybe an employer, maybe it's friends, whatever. It's not them. What's the common denominator? The common denominator is me. My desire to be heard is not being met. And men, this is not a weakness. This isn't because we're weak. It's because we're wired for connection. But let me give you some good news. The Father himself meets these desires. Psalm 34, 17 and 18 says, the righteous cry out, and what? The Lord hears them. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. Now, you can blow me off today and go, that's fine, Steve. I'm not there. But maybe you're in your 30s. Are you in your 40s, 50s, 60s? At some point, life just gets tired and too cumbersome. And I've got to stop and go back and become aware of these desires and whether they got met or not. But before anyone else hears you, remember this, God does, because he is being heard is a God-designed need. Let's talk about desire number 2. The desire number 2 is to be affirmed. This is a huge one, guys. This is a huge one. Affirmation says, I see the good in you. It's not flattery, it's identity. When affirmation is lacking, guess what happens? I've done all of these. We chase approval, we overwork, we fear failure, and criticism feels like a personal attack. Why? Because without affirmation, a man never knows where he stands. But guess what, man? The Father affirms his beloved sons. Jesus was affirmed before he ever performed. He was seen. And he was affirmed. Zephaniah 3:17. He will take great delight in you. He'll rejoice over you with singing. Man, that's this whole mission of this podcast and Bringing Kingdom is to see ourselves as God sees us. We know it, but we don't believe it. We talked about that last week. We'll go back and listen to last week's podcast. That's more than approval. That's delight. When these desires go unmet in our childhood, maybe we didn't feel heard by your father. I know I didn't. Or we weren't affirmed by a coach or a teacher. We're overlooked. You may be responding out of those wounds today. But God invites us to let his listening ear and his delight shape us. So let's reflect on this today. As you're driving home, driving to work, however way you're listening to me, here's a reflection. Which one of these hits deeper for you? Is it the desire to be heard or the desire to be affirmed? Which one of those hits deeper? Think about that. And as you're thinking about that, I would love it if you would follow this podcast. I would love it if you could rate it. And hopefully I'm earning a 5-star from you because I'm giving you content and things about our getting into our hearts that you've probably never heard before. Comment on it. Please share it with other men. Hey, I'm listening to this guy. You got to listen to I Know a Guy. And if you find into the guy whose life is crashing and gone sideways and the defecation has hit the oscillation, say I know a guy. Let's wrap up doing this. Tomorrow, we're going to look at the desires to be blessed and to be safe. Those are two of the deepest longings in a man's soul. If you've ever felt unsafe emotionally or spiritually, tomorrow we're going to talk about why the desire for blessing and safety runs so deep. We'll see you tomorrow on the I Know a Guy podcast.